She stood in my driveway, hands on her hips, yelling like she owned the entire neighborhood. "That Porsche doesn't belong here," she screamed. HOA rules forbid luxury cars parked overnight. I'd just gotten home from a long shift, still in my gray jacket badge tucked under it, trying to stay invisible. I didn't say a word. I just looked at her, wondering how far she'd go this time. An hour later, flashing red and blue lights painted my living room walls. 2 officers stepped out of a black SUV, no markings, no plates, no unit numbers. And there she was again, Karen Hernandez, queen of Maple Ridge Estates, smirking like she'd already won some petty war. "That's him," she shouted. "He's trespassing and that car's stolen." They pointed at me. "Sir, step outside immediately." Their tone was practiced, but off too stiff, too rehearsed. I opened the door slowly, playing along. "Sure," I said calmly. "Mind showing me your badges first?" That half-second pause was all I needed. Their badges glinted cheap plastic. Not metal, not real, but Karen didn't notice. She was already snapping photos of my car, mumbling about HOA enforcement fees. "Ma'am," I said, stepping toward her, "you sure you want to go through with this?" She laughed, loud, confident fake. "Oh, I'm sure. We've got the police here and your little act is over." I took one more step. "Good," I said quietly, my voice dropping low, "because I'd love to hear how you explain this to a real U.S. Marshal." Her laughter stopped cold. The 2 fake cops stiffened. I pulled my badge from my jacket, heavy official shining under the porch light. The silence hit like a hammer. Even the crickets went quiet. "You're joking," she stammered. "Not even a little," I said. "Now, why don't we talk about why you brought fake officers onto federal property?" Her confidence cracked, but only for a moment. She quickly regained her tone. "You can't scare me," she hissed. "The HOA board will handle this." Then she pulled out her phone, hitting record, yelling for everyone to hear. "This man is impersonating a marshal. Someone call the police." The 2 imposters started backing away, muttering something about a miscommunication. I noticed the SUV again. No plate stealer tag. "Stay right there," I ordered, voice sharp, controlled. They froze. Karen was still shouting, calling me a fraud, trying to get neighbors' attention. Every second she talked, I was quietly recording her, my body cam light blinking beneath the jacket. Then, just when I thought the circus was complete, a real patrol car turned the corner. Blue lights cutting through the dusk. Karen's smug grin returned. "Now you're done," she whispered. The officer stepped out. "What's going on here?" he asked. Karen jumped in before I could speak. "He's pretending to be a marshal. He threatened me and tried to block HOA enforcement." I waited until she was done, then handed over my badge and ID. The officer took one look and his whole face changed. "Ma'am," he said slowly, "this badge is real. He's with the U.S. Marshals." Karen's mouth dropped open. The fake cops panicked, bolted for the SUV. Tires screeched. They sped off down the street. Karen started shaking. I didn't know they were fake. They told me." "Save it," I interrupted. "You paid them, didn't you?" Her silence told me everything. The officer called for backup, but I already knew how this story would end. She thought she was untouchable. She had no idea she'd just stepped into a federal case. That night, I sat at my kitchen table, body cam footage playing on loop. I'd faced cartel smugglers, fugitives, violent offenders, but nothing had ever made my blood boil like seeing a woman abuse fake authority just to feed her ego. For a minute, I actually questioned myself. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I should just let it go. Keep my head down and live quietly like I promised myself when I moved here. But then I remembered her face, the smirk, the arrogance, the way she used fear to control people. No. Letting it go would mean letting her do this again to someone else, and that I couldn't allow. I stayed up half the night digging. I traced the fake cop's SUV through the dealer tag straight to a repo yard already on a federal watch list. Payment authorization under one name: Karen Hernandez. The next morning, Maple Ridge Estates looked calm again, too calm. Karen was out front watering her roses, smiling at passing neighbors like nothing ever happened. I parked across the street, started recording again. She saw me and stormed over, sunglasses flashing. "You're still here. The HOA knows all about you now. You'll be evicted by next week." I rolled down my window, calm. "Karen, do you even hear yourself? I run this neighborhood," she snapped. "People listen to me. No badge or fancy car changes that." I leaned in just a little. "You're right about one thing," I said softly. "People are watching you." She frowned. "What's that supposed to?" Then her phone buzzed. I saw her screen light up. News alert. "Local woman under investigation for hiring fake cops in HOA dispute." Her face drained of color. You can't prove anything." "Oh, I can," I said, stepping out of my car. "Remember those cameras you forced the HOA to install on every street? They caught everything." She looked around, realizing every house had a lens pointed her way. Curtains moved. Neighbors peeked out phones, up recording. Her empire of control was turning against her. "You think this is over?" she spat. "Not even close," I said. "You tried to destroy my life for parking in my own driveway. Now you'll see what real accountability looks like." She screamed after me, "I'll sue you. I'll sue everyone." I didn't turn around. Good luck doing that. From federal custody. 2 days later, just before sunrise, a line of black SUVs rolled into the neighborhood. No sirens, no shouting, just quiet precision. Karen stepped onto her porch in a robe hair a mess, holding her morning coffee. She froze when she saw the agents. "Karen Hernandez," one of them said. "You're under arrest for conspiracy fraud and impersonating law enforcement." She screamed, "No, I'm the HOA president. You can't do this to me." But they could. And they did. The cuffs clicked. Her watering can tipped roses dripping across the porch. Neighbors gathered phones out again. I stood by my gate, arms crossed, watching the Queen of Maple Ridge crumble in front of her court. She spotted me as they led her to the car. "You set me up," she shouted. I met her eyes. "No, Karen. You set yourself up." They drove off. Silence filled the street, real silence, the kind that only comes after chaos. That evening I parked my Porsche in the same spot she tried to take from me. The sun was setting behind the trees, and for the first time since I moved there, the neighborhood felt peaceful. I looked around at the empty sidewalks, the quiet houses, the hum of crickets returning. And I said to myself, half under my breath, I fought for this country. I won't let anyone take what's mine. Justice isn't loud. It doesn't need to shout or prove itself. Sometimes it just arrives quietly, like the sound of freedom rolling back into your own driveway. Lesson learned. Never mistake control for power. Real power is doing what's right even when you're standing alone.